Hey everybody, Mr. Eaker here. This is your video on dividing fractions, which of course leads into scale factor. And I put up two fractions here, and we're going to divide 1/5 by 2/3. What's one important thing to notice is that when you divide by a fraction, your value will actually be bigger. Now there's a very simple rule for this. In dividing fractions, we keep first fraction that's the same. So we're not going to touch that at all. And then we're going to change the division sign to a multiplication sign. And then we're going to flip the last fraction to its reciprocal. Now the reciprocal is just where you take the numerator and put in the denominator spot, and the denominator and put in the numerator spot. So when I do all this, the new fraction will look like this. Keep, change, flip. So you can see what we did here. 1/5 is still 1/5. Division changes to multiplication. 2/3 now changes to 3/2. And we multiply the numerators by the numerators and the denominators by the denominators. So 3 times 1 is 3. 5 times 2 is 10. If we can simplify, then we will, but in this case, 3 is a prime number, so we can't simplify that. So your answer to this one is 3 out of 10. And say, well, 3 out of 10, is that bigger than 1/5? Well, 1/5 changed to tenths would be 2/10. So yeah, 3/10 is bigger than 2/10, which means that's bigger than 1/5. So one more little example here. Up. Let's do 5/8 divided by 2/7. So I'm going to do my keep, change, flip. Keep 5/8, 5/8. Change, division, multiplication. Flip your last fraction, where the numerator is on the denominator spot and the denominator moves up to the numerator spot, your reciprocal. Then we multiply across. 5 times 7 is 35. 8 times 2 is 16. And then you say, whoa, wait a minute, the numerator is bigger than the denominator. That's true. What we have here is called an improper fraction. So we want to change that to what's called a mixed fraction, where you have whole number and you have your fraction. So we think, how many times will 16 go into 35? Or how many times can I subtract 16 from 35? Is another way to put it, and not go over. Well, 16, I can take 35 minus 16, that's okay. 16 times 2 is 32. 35 can be subtracted away from 32, so we say okay. So 16 can go into 35 twice. 16 times 2 will be 32. Now the denominator doesn't change. But what I do is I take that 35 and I subtract it from 32. Again, 16 times 2 is 32. That leaves me with 3. Now if I could simplify the fraction, I would, but I can't. So your final answer here is 2 3/16. So if you have any questions, you can email me. And if not, I'll talk to you soon.